Konnichiwa!
Howdy, y'all.
I'm Leslie.
And I am Laurie. Welcome to
Sumo Kaboom, where we talk about all things sumo.
That's right. And today we are jumping into the January 2025 Basho. We are going to be talking about days 1, 2, and 3. But before we jump in, I want to encourage anyone who is not playing bingo. You still have time to get your bingo card. You can go on our website, sumokaboompodcast.com/bingo, find out all the info or look at our socials.
Yeah, get those cards because you want to play, because we got awesome gift cards and merch and stuff from Big Sumo Fan. So
yeah, the
there's
most
that.
wonderful sponsor in the world, and also your handmade jam.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I forget about that. It's orange season. So I keep thinking I'm going to make a marmalade again, but I don't know if my marmalade's like a big hit. I don't know. I know my fig is, but if I could just find all the time in the day, I'll make some more jam.
Do you have any news?
The only thing that I really want to say is that, we mentioned Thomas Shoho the other day for his big debut. But did you know that this is also when we have a new Gyoji, a new Tata Gyoji, a new Papa Gyoji?
I forgot.
The 43rd, I think his name, Shinosuke Unosuke. Let me see. I've got my notes here. Oh, and by the way, if you are listening to us, you can actually watch us because we're trying our best. Now, who knows if it'll happen, but we're trying our best to do this one on camera, which was a lot of effort. And to be quite honest, I'm still not wearing a bra, but
that's okay.
No one can tell.
Pants, so
no one can tell. So anyway, so you can tune in and follow us on YouTube and look at our faces in the morning.
Sorry.
But it's the 43rd Shikimori Inosuke. And as I like to call him, Inosuke Shinosuke. But it's Shikimori Inosuke, who's 61 years old and out of Kasugano stable. And he is the 43rd Tachigoji, or the Tata Gyoji. I think there's Tata Gyoji and then there's the other one, and it's just been too long.
That's why we call him Papa Gyoji.
Yeah, we know that he's one of the two top Papa Gyojis. So if you're just listening to us for the first time, know that we are highly inaccurate, but highly enthusiastic.
Yeah.
And if you look back and find one of our episodes about Gyojis, you'll find the accurate information. It's just, It happened a year and a half or 2 years ago, and I can't remember anymore.
I know. Those are the kind of details that just fade with time. Unfortunately. Sorry, Gyojis.
I mean, but I look at them and I'm like, oh, I know what you do. I know by your outfit, your tassels, and your little dagger and your belt what you mean. But anyway, it's the top two dogs in the Gyoji ref world. Anyway, so he made his debut.
Yay!
Other than that, did you see the Aura commercial where he's bathing?
Showering? Yes, I did. And it's fabulous.
It is, because it's very like sexy, and I didn't hear it with all of the music. I heard it
watched it with the sound off.
No, I watched it. Somebody had recorded it at the Kokugikon, because they have like a television that's just sitting there downstairs, and you can just hear like the rumblings of people coming and going into the Kokugikon, and then there's this big TV screen with just Aura bathing. And so I was like, where's the sexy music? Like I got to know, like, what does this sound like, And come to find out, I sat there the whole time being like, is there another video and another window on? Like, what's going on? Why can't I hear the soaring, glorious music? It's not there. Anyway, but I know what it looks like now when Ura showers, and it's great. I would buy whatever shower head that he is selling. I don't know if it's soap or if it was a shower head. Who knows? But if we're selling, I'm buying.
That's so true. It is so true. That's all it takes. It's just your favorite wrestler selling. And the JSA knows this, and that's why they have that amazing sumo shop, right?
Yeah, which is where I got this clink clink, this mug. And I, to be quite honest, don't know what it says.
But it looks cool.
It looks really cool.
Yeah. Should we jump right into day one?
Day one!
Okay! Day one of the January 2025 Sumo Tournament. If you're new to us online, we just break down our favorite moments of each day of the Basho. All right. We try to pick 3, but we end up with way more than 3. Sometimes we'll break it down. Sometimes we'll just give an overview of what happened and why we love it. Okay. But the main thing for you to know about this January 2025 tournament is there is so much talent at the top and at the bottom of this Makuuchi division.
I know we got the Waka Bros up in Sanyaku.
We have so many different styles of sumo out there. We've got injured guys that are back, and it's super exciting to see them back. So I kind of feel like, oh my God, every moment of this is thrilling to me. Absolutely thrilling. With that in mind, first day, okay, well, bummer. We have a couple guys that we're not going to see this tournament. Roga is out, although he may be back later. I guess he's not feeling well. And Hokuto Fuji, who finally, I guess, got the surgery on his knee that he has
finally.
Yeah,
finally.
Which is great. Okay, so he's not great that we're going to miss him, but great that he's getting the healing that he needs. All right. But day 1, Tamashoho, the man of the moment, the man who likes his guinea pigs, gave us a beauty of a slapdown against Kagayaki, and I liked the energy.
I was just happy to see him there.
I like the hustle. he's like there's so much drive for him to do well.
It's huge. Like to make your debut
to make your debut
in Makuuchi. You want to win your first time out because it's just good luck. No one wants to lose it. And there's probably plenty of guys who have had amazing careers and lost their very first bout of Makuuchi, but it set him out on the right foot. You know, he took a good step forward, and he did seem like jazzed. He seemed like, I can't believe I'm here. And he did some great sumo.
Yeah. I completely agree. So I just wanted to note that. And also Hakuoho, who is back. And I love Hakuoho's shape. I love his style. I love the fact that he just throws himself just 100%.
He's just now that we have first. To like when we lost Taka Keisho to retirement, we lost our cannonball in the ranks. And I kind of feel like he is the closest thing shape-wise to a cannonball. And also
is it the same height?
No, Taka Keisho's like 5'8". I can't remember how tall. I feel like Hakuoho is a little bit taller, but I don't remember.
But I like his buns. He has great buns.
I mean, we saw somebody sent us a picture of like when we were in Japan in August, a picture, or maybe it was in the fall sometime, a picture of him warming up, and it was just buns down. Like it was just like, I don't know.
A shirt on and his mawashi on.
Which is his favorite outfit, actually. Yeah. If you find him amongst the crowds, he's like wearing a t-shirt and it's all buns out.
He gets a little chilly on top.
Yeah,
but on the bottom, buns out. And his buns are tremendous.
I mean, they really are. And I'm not trying to be a perv or anything like that. I'm just saying they are truly muscular. Amazing, like muscles that he has developed. And that is part of his whole thing. That's like what makes him, I think, be able to cannonball and stay so low and so grounded. So despite the tiny shoulder holes.
Well, he looks solid, and it's great to see him back. And he won on day 1 against Kitanawaka. So wanted to just mention that right out of the gate. I'm just loving seeing these guys in the top division. I am going to skip a whole bunch of fabulous sumo just because we don't have time to talk about it all. And I want to mention Abi versus Oho. In this match on day 1, Abi leapt in quick. He tried to pull Oho down, but Oho, I'm not the biggest fan of Oho.
I know.
My tune is changing. My tune is changing.
I was waiting.
Oho just absorbed. He absorbed everything that Abi gave him, and he pushed. He flipped Abi to the side. He got behind him, and with an okuridashi, just took him right out. And I thought, okay, that is Sanyaku level sumo. Like, he is getting much, much better. And I like seeing it, and I take note of it whenever I see it.
Yes. I know you also have not been on the Oho train. I have been on for a little while going, I think we should just kind of keep an eye on this guy. I think we should kind of look for him. And it's been really slow. That's the thing about him, is that it's kind of like minimum improvement, but it's happening. I know I'll have more to say about him, but I'm happy he did so well on day one.
There were several surprise wins on day one. Usually, if it's a surprise win, it's going to end up in my top 3 bouts. So one of them I want to mention, Tobizaru versus Onosato. This was a big surprise.
Yeah.
Tobizaru beat Ozeki Onosato, by lifting Onosato's neck up high and then quickly, and I mean quickly, pulling Onosato flat. It shocked the heck out of me. I did not, I mean, I know Tobizaru is fast and I know he's strong, but Onosato tends to smother his opponents. And Tobizaru finding just the exact right moment to do that pull and yank him off his feet. It was that impressive, huh? That breakdown was that impressive.
No, I just had a sneeze. Sneak up. You know, the news called him, that Nikon Sports called Tobizaru the Ozeki killer.
Okay, well, I can see why. After day 3. Yeah, I can definitely see why. So he started out on a roll being the Ozeki killer. My favorite match, Kirishima versus Hoshoryu. Hoshoryu completely dominated in this Yotsu Sumo match entirely. He did not allow Kirishima to escape. He stayed tight. And it was just so fabulous. Hoshoryu looks so strong, so fast. And this is my favorite kind of sumo. It's on the belt sumo. And Hoshoryu, he just left no questions at all. He's like, I'm better, I'm faster, I'm stronger. And here you go. Here's my first win of this tournament, which I fully expect to win 14 days from now.
Yeah. I hear people rumbling that they wish he would go back to Kiribayama because he's kind of been cursed. Now, I adore Kiribayama. I will never stop loving him. I adore him. But he's going through some stuff. You know, I don't know if he's got a couple of kids under 2. He's just exhausted. I don't know what the deal is, but I miss the old Kiribayama. I will say, Hoshoryu from day 1 is doing Yokozuna style sumo.
Yeah, he's not holding back anywhere.
You know, sometimes when you watch sumo and you can all of a sudden see in your eyes, you're like, oh, yeah, that's what
there it is.
It looks like when you're really friggin' good. And he has developed a sense kind of like Hakuho where he in the moment is so
Hakuho.
No, he's not there. But to his uncle had so much pizzazz, so much fire, and he has that. But also Hakuho had that ability really quickly to change no matter what was given to him, whatever hand was dealt, he would quickly adjust. And I found that whatever period of adjustment Hoshoryu's gone through, he has tightened up those skills and they have a shorter simmer time before he's executing the next move defensively. So it's been interesting to watch him develop. And this tournament, I was like, whoa, somebody has arrived, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Somebody is well rested, ate his Wheaties this morning, and is ready to take this.
Yeah, he wants it.
Whatever that emotional fire that they need, he's got it.
He's got it.
Okay. I do need to mention one more. Terunofuji versus Wakataka Kage on day 1. I had forgotten. Wakataka Kage has really never beat Terunofuji.
Wasn't it like really 10-1? It's like...
Yeah. 10-1, but the one win was when Terunofuji pulled out. So he's really never beaten Terunofuji. So on day 1, it happened so fast that honestly I missed it. I did not catch it until I watched the slow-mo. It was like one leap in and Terunofuji was flat. It happened in about 2 seconds.
It hurt.
And what happened was Wakataka Kage grabbed underneath Terunofuji's arm. He could tell Terunofuji just had one foot ahead of the other one, and he just Katasakashi flat down on his belly. It was such a surprise. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it, but
My heart
wow.
kind of sank in the moment because don't get me wrong, I love Wakataka Kage, but it's like day one and it's like Terunofuji and you're like worried and that it looked easy. And that was like, it just makes me think about the decline of a Yokozuna.
Oh,
No, I know, Laura, we don't want to talk about it, but that is the cycle of these guys. And I don't think he can go through like Tamawashi till he's 40, you know.
it made me think of timing. I mean, Wakataka Kage is such a technical Rikishi, and he's got a plan and he executes, and his timing is almost always perfect.
Yeah.
When
And
he
I mean,
can get it. And that's what it made me think of.
Yeah, Terunofuji has, he's strong, he's back, he's looking better than he did the last time we saw him, and he, won the tournament. So it's possible. It's just more that like you see over the lifetime, like what his strength was, and then having to come back from it, and you're like, God, that's like coming back after like getting your hip replaced. Like it's got to be like a really, really difficult
Okay,
hill to climb.
I'm not gonna start talking about Terunofuji in past tense yet. I'm just not. I'm still on
chill.
the
Just
Terunofuji
chill. I'm
train.
not saying he's retiring. You're so friggin' sensitive. Like he's your little brother. No,
I will be the person who's like, no. He's great.
Well, he can't be a Yokozuna forever. And that's all I'm saying is that like he's there. He's just not fighting still because he's coming back off of injury and coming back into it with his full senses. And we don't know if that'll come back completely. He may come back and have 17 more years as the world's oldest Yokozuna. You are correct. It could happen. But, he is very ancient 33. Just kidding.
Hey, Leslie has completely lost faith in our Yokozuna.
No,
I think
it's
it was
a joke.
just a timing issue.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yep. It was.
Favorite
Wakataka Kage just was really, really good.
Yeah. He's dynamite. My favorite part was we got treated to a very low energy and very serious interview from Wakataka Kage after that win. And those are always the highlight of my day because I just feel bad for the person who's doing the interview every single time.
He's so the absolute worst interview. Like those guys are like, do you want to interview him or do I have to?
Or should I?
Because he's like, yes. But what's funny is he takes a beat. And you think he's really thinking of a long sentence.
Yeah, but
and then he comes out with one word.
Well, they're like, oh, do you remember when you did this, when you did the Kata Sakashi? And he's like, beat. I don't really remember.
Right.
What I did.
Yeah. I don't even think it's that many words. I think he's just like, yes. Confidence.
Yeah. And in a way, that's great because if you think in sumo, it's already too late. So it's action and it's reaction. And I do appreciate that half the time they can't remember what they did. That shows amazing athleticism.
I wouldn't know.
Right?
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Throw yourself at someone else and then you do what your training has taught you to do. And you don't think about it. The brain isn't involved. It's a full body martial art, right?
Yeah.
But still, I just think those interviews
he
are
needs
so damn
to go
funny.
back to sumo school and be like, let's add a little personality into this.
Well, Wakamoto Haru got the personality. Like in all the brothers, who knows? Maybe the oldest brother is like Mr. Personality. Like, I don't know.
He's like a stand-up. Who knows what he does?
Yeah, who knows? Okay, but that is my overview from day one.
But let's talk about day two. We had a really fun match between Nishikigi and Midori Fuji, which I love this match because it's who coined Mr. Thunderpants? Somebody else did?
I don't know, but it's so great.
It's just great. But when you see Mr. Thunderpants up against Midori Fuji, who loves to get inside and get his favorite double inside position grip, you see these two go together, and Nishikigi's like, okay, man, you can get on the inside. You can get your favorite grip. That's okay. But good luck pulling me down because I'm pretty bottom heavy. And that's exactly what happened. Midori Fuji gets in and he can't figure out how to exactly move Nishikigi around. And so Nishikigi just stays amazingly heavy. There's no gain for Midori Fuji, and it kind of stalled out. And that's when he tired out little Midori Fuji, waited, and then he rushed. Like all of a sudden, he just up and charged at him, backing out Midori Fuji. Just got tired, and he was moved all around and out of the dojo by Yori Kitty. So, yeah, our fun guy Midori Fuji is a delight to watch, but is no match for Mr. Thunderpants.
No,
Who's
I just love the fact that it is. I just love the fact that we're watching a sport in which it's a benefit to be bottom heavy.
right. I would be aces in this sport.
We all would. Those of us that sit on our couches all the time.
No,
we all
do you know
would.
what? I really do think about this. I really have thought about it. Like knowing my body type, when I look at a wrestler, and if I was a guy, I'd be like, what would I be built like? You know?
You think you could be one?
No. No. I don't like to go head first into like anybody else's
Anything?
face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or armpits. I'm very not into head into sweaty armpit, but
Yeah, you'd have to be very into throwing yourself into some other sweaty body.
Yeah. And I'm not much of a personal cannonball, but I do think about like the size of our dad, and he was like 6'2", and he put on weight pretty evenly. I think maybe I'd be built like dad. And I think I might have Hakaho's build, but a little bit more junk in the trunk. You know, Hakaho didn't have a butt like Ted and Fuji doesn't have much of a butt. I might have like the top of maybe Tamawashi, but with a little bit more butt.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think
Anyway.
I would be Ichi Yamamoto.
Yeah, you would definitely or Abi. You are long arms, skinny legs. Yeah. Or even Thomas Shoho, because I do think it's hard for you to like bulk out. I've never seen you in your life bulky. So you might be Thomas Shoho eating 5 times a day and still not.
If I went to the gym a lot, maybe I could be Wakamoto Haru. But I don't know.
Yeah. But I think you're tall. You're tall. So you would really be really tall in that. So
okay, back to the professional.
Okay, so Ura versus Chiyoshoma. I love this because Ura is tricky as ever, and I just don't understand. In some way, Chiyoshoma's success, but here we are. We made fun of him forever for just being the Hanka King, and in fact, on day 3, I will give it away, but we saw a flying Hanka, which actually has a name. And it came from Chiyoshoma. So he still has his old bag of tricks, but his new bag of tricks is just with a lot more power and a lot more skill. But anyway, he managed to stay quick and react to all of Ura's advances. He hops around almost as well as Ura does. And in the end, Ura got actually so far and inside and tried to set up for some sort of like throw, like tricky throw that he was going to do. And Chiyoshoma just smartly laid down on him, and then he fell and Ura hit the dirt. So Chiyoshoma had some really great pushing sequences in there, which I think is like just a nice evolution of his sumo, and it's all kind of coming together. And I just don't think I ever thought I'd see it, but here we are. Chiyoshoma's looking good like he was last tournament. So
Chiyoshoma's always been super agile and fast.
Yeah.
And I like the matchup of him versus Ura, because Ura looks like he's half the height and just as fast. So I like Ura's always coming in low. Chiyoshoma has the ability to get that low, but he's always like, how can I twist and turn and use this to my advantage? And honestly, I just love the smash burger that Chiyoshoma gave him at the end. That was always fun. Always.
It was fun. Even though I hate to see Ura in the dirt because I love him so much.
Everybody does.
Yeah. And I always am cheering for like Ura over Chiyoshoma, but I gotta start changing that. You know, Chiyoshoma's a great wrestler. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Oho a little bit up against Wakataka Kage. In my mind, I was like, all right, I love Oho, but like Wakataka Kage has all the skill. Well, I wrote, see, it's crazy. How can slow Oho do so well? Because he must be incredibly strong. Wakataka Kage just started out kind of all wrong and could never really find his footing. before Oho was dishing out like more and more pummels and more, thrusts. And it was an Oshidashi win for Oho, who looked definitively like he knew what he was doing. And I guess confident too. And afterwards, you could sort of see this little flare of like, see, it may take me a while, but like, that was a big one for him, I think. If I was Oho beating Wakataka Kage, who I don't know, people have so much passion for him and his like compact, like tricky, fun, really smart sumo, and Oho just outpowered him. Just blast, blast, blast. And Wakataka Kage, maybe he just started out too slow, was just kind of on his heels and not really attacking. So that was kind of interesting. So I liked that for Oho, who is at 2-0. And
Me too. I noted it as well. And I thought,
did you?
Not a great day to be a Waka brother, but a great day to be Oho.
Right. Let's see. We have another Waka brother, Wakamoto Haru versus Gonoyama. It was like a surprise throw from Gonoyama. It was amazing. He worked Wakamoto Haru backwards to the edge, and even though like Wakamoto Haru didn't go over the edge, it was like a real quickie trick because I call him Gonzo in my notes. Gonzo pushed so hard and then he yanked, and then Wakamoto Haru like just like he was pulled down to the ground into the dirt, and it was a Tsuki Otoshi. And I know that Goedo or Oyakata had to be proud because Gonoyama looked like, I put a sound effect. I know you've heard me go num 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 num, which is similar to
which is not the sumo sound I ever really associate with the sport, but that's pretty funny that you do.
That it only goes along with certain wrestlers. Hakuoho, Gonoyama. Nom, 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 nom,
so
like
the cannonballs. The cannonballs.
The cannonballs, yes.
Because Gonoyama could be another candidate for the next cannonball.
Yes, exactly. Same body, hunched over, like real closed off, incredibly powerful, just compact but bulky. Nom, nom, nom,
or nom 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 nom.
Like he's eating his anyway. But anyway. Let's move on.
Y'all, we really do this for beginners, like people who are new to sumo. That's really our audience, honestly. And so if nom 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 helps you identify this certain style of sumo wrestler, then great. That's what it's all about.
On to the next one. Okay, we have Ozeki Kotozakura, who lost on day one and continued that losing streak up against Abi. This was another big upset. Abi just long-armed Kotozakura post-tachiai. Kotozakura couldn't ever also find his feet. He just was stumbling back and seemed, honestly, sort of out of it. And I think nerves weren't helping. And also, he said in all of his preparation that he wasn't prepared. He was losing a lot of his bouts in the pre-Basho, Keikos. And so I think Abi was just relentless, and it was a Tsukidashi win for Abi. But I mention this only because Kotozakura is going for that Yokozuna run, and I think it got to him even before all of this started.
I believe Kotozakura won on day one.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he's 1-1. Sorry,
yes.
1-1. I'm speaking of, thank you for the correction. I was speaking of like, well, I won't
of what
give
is
it away.
To come. Yes, I know, because it's on your mind. But he met Takanosho on day one and was very calm and won. Yeah,
but it didn't happen. Correct me if I'm wrong. Again, always correcting me if I'm wrong. It was not an easy bout. It was not definitive like he normally looks.
He just took his time. He was calm about it, and he was like, "I'll get you eventually," and there we go.
Yeah, maybe. I also just might be saying things. So, anyway, so I started to see something like something's off.
Yeah.
Onosato won because Kirishima is frantic from up top. He tries to just like throw blah, 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 arms and tries the leg trip, this is not working. I mean, let me try whatever I can. And Onosato's just heavy. He denies it all and just simply shoved Kirishima out. Kirishima's on his heels. And so, yeah, that's no fun for us Kirishima lovers.
Well, it's a tough first week for Kirishima.
Yes.
It's a real tough first
but
week.
It's been a tough first week for him for like 5 Bashos now. Like, if he would just change his name back,
it would be fine.
It'd be fine.
Right.
Thomas Shoho had like 4 names. So why can't
he's got
change back?
A name that's working for him right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Tobizaru up against Hoshoryu. Hoshoryu looked amazing. He looks big. His tachi is aggressive. He grabs the belt, really moves Tobizaru back and crushes him out very easily. He looks like a pro, and Tobizaru looks like a clueless high schooler, like who's just learned how to sumo. He's not at all, but he looked like it up against Hoshoryu, who just kind of batted him around, just simply moving him back all around and out. So Yorite Oshi, which I always like because it's a crush. I like it when they get crushed. I hope they don't hurt themselves. And then the final match was Terunofuji up against Takanosho. This was just sheer will by Terunofuji.
Mm-hmm.
It took him longer than usual to get the job done. He had a left-hand grip, and that was, his strength, and he just wouldn't give up. He pushed Takanosho to the edge. Takanosho did not budge, though, easily. But eventually, when worn down, the third, rush to the edge and back, he did. So Takanosho was pretty tired after this. And it showed that Terunofuji has some endurance, or he mustered through a moment of time where that was a long bout. I think it was a long bout. He had to push through. But anyway, he won. So, yeah, Yokozuna's 1-1.
And you're back on the Yokozuna train?
I'll have thoughts after day 3. I am on the Yokozuna train. He's the only Yokozuna we got. I'm just saying. He's not prime Yokozuna physical fitness. And it worries me.
Got it. Okay.
Just like my knees hurt now. And I don't even do sumo, but like my knees never hurt no matter what I did to him 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Now
but he is so good that he can do sumo with like a quarter of a knee and still win.
Yes. But even he's like, can we please get another Yokozuna in the ranks so I can just deal with less pressure? That's what he wants.
To the onsen. I just want to go to the onsen and like hang out. Can we get another one up here, please?
Please. So that's day 2.
Okay. Day 3. Such a delightful day of sumo. I have so many things that I want to talk about, but
I took no notes. I just watched because it was so fun.
And I don't know how you watched it, but one of the biggest treats of day 3 was Taka Keisho in the commentator's booth.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh my goodness. It was such a delight. He is so smiley, and he did such a wonderful job breaking down the sumo. Yeah.
How did you watch it? Oh, you can tell me. Did you watch NHK?
No. No. I did not watch it on NHK.
Okay.
By the way, we've had several people email in and say, how are you watching the sumo? Because my usual channels are down. I'll just give you this hint. If you search for the day of sumo, just go to YouTube. Search for the day of sumo.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different
stream.
Yeah.
And a live stream will usually stay up for 2 or 3 days before it'll get taken down. So there you go. You have to fast forward through a lot of Japanese commercials. But
I like Japanese commercials. You might see Japanese the Ura one with the music.
Exactly. And you get treated to things like this. Taka Keisho on the live stream,
Smiling.
breaking down the sumo and like circling things on the screen and like showing like the really specific moves that wrestlers are doing to win the match. And it's also delightful because you can check just how your Japanese is improving. Like I could watch it and be like, oh my God, I know they're talking about, Hakuoho's age and how it's so exciting to watch him because he's only 21 and it won't be long until he's up in the joy. And like, I was like getting sections of it at a time.
Joy, by the
first
way,
time.
for the first time, are the top ranked guys, not necessarily Sanyaku, but it's the guys who fight all the top ranked guys in the first week, essentially, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Plus you just get to see these guys as they are as human beings, which is always just a delight. Like,
Yeah, we had no idea he had
28.
Yeah, we didn't know he had a personality.
Yeah.
And who
and
knew?
He clearly does. Like you could see how this man was the life of the party.
What?
Yes.
I gotta believe it. I gotta see it to believe it.
Yeah.
Or
no,
believe it to see it.
Pulled together. He's professional, but he seems like a young man in his 20s, like having just done something amazing. He is incredible. So he's worth watching the long version on day 3 just to see that much Takake
Okay,
show
I'm gonna have to do
in the flesh. And he's just so cute. I mean, his face is so perfectly round and his teeth are perfect. And
he does have a lovely smile.
Everything. Okay. But the first match that made me sort of sit up straight and go, ooh, on day 3 was Onokatsu.
Oh.
Not for that reason. Onokatsu versus Takeru Fuji.
Yes.
And this
now his body type is, I've said it before, Tasmanian devil. You cannot watch him without thinking of the Tasmanian devil.
Yeah. And honestly, he's like, there are some guys when you see him in the flesh, they're so impressive that it like stops you in your tracks.
Yeah.
And he is one of them.
Yeah.
Some of them stop you in your tracks simply because of how large they are. Like Aoyama, big man.
Yeah, big guy.
Yeah. Just like every direction, tall, wide, and all the rest of it. But Takeru Fuji, just because of how wide he is on top, like it's ungodly, it's unreal to see that.
Yeah, and he got those
in the
tiny
flesh.
ankles.
Yeah, those darn tiny ankles. But this match, these two met, and we got a big, huge belt like Yotsu Sumo match, and it was back and forth and back and forth, and they looked very evenly matched until they both basically flew out of the ring at the same time.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
and it was very clear. Pretty much all of us were like, oh, we're going to get a Tori Naoshi.
Tori Naoshi, again, for our new listeners, is like when two wrestlers either fall or hit the dirt and it's like inconclusive. They can't tell exactly who hit the ground or who went out first. It happened like simultaneously sometimes, or it's just too close to call, essentially. So they have the wrestlers do a rematch right after.
Yeah. So in the first match, we got this belt sumo. And in the second match, we got completely different style of sumo from the exact same wrestlers. We got pushing sumo, just huge pushes back and forth from each one of them. Takeru Fuji ended up sort of pushing Onokatsu's shoulder up and sort of twisting at the same time, and that got Onokatsu off balance, and then Takeru Fuji was able to push him out with one really good chest thrust.
Strong.
It was really just, it was a kind of sumo that just makes you go, I'm watching now. I am watching. Yeah, there's nothing boring about the sport at all, because we just got a demonstration of so many different things from the same two wrestlers. Wow. If you also want to watch another gorgeous pushing, like Oshizumo style match, that was just so incredible to watch. Watch day 3 Shodai versus Daisho.
Yeah.
Because Daisho was pushing with all of his might. Like every single muscle in that man's body was pushing Shodai up and back. And with every muscle
and up.
And every muscle in Shodai's body was pushing back in the opposite direction. So it was like watching like two trucks like bang into each other like this and go nowhere for the longest time, both of them using all of their power. Eventually Daisho's perfectly placed, like never missing, not once, pushes eventually moved Shodai up and back. But it was like power for power, the most incredible Oshizumo match of the day, I think.
Yeah. I kept watching it and being like, how high up is Shodai gonna go before he's, I mean, out? You know, he resisted longer than most people could because he has such strength. But yeah, I was just like, he is on his tippy toes and he's still being pulled up higher and he's
Yeah.
still in the ring.
Yeah. And
But it
he's
was
still
lose. I
pushing
knew
back.
he'd lose eventually. I was like, he's just up too high. He's up too high. Daisha was too strong. And Daisha does not allow him to do his trickeration left or right, the lateral movement at the edge. So I was like,
That is true.
this is not gonna win. This is not gonna be a win for Shodai.
And talk about someone else who also had great aim and perfect placement in his pushes. Oho versus Wakamoto Haru. He continued to push Wakamoto Haru back. Honestly, Wakamoto Haru was just overpowered by those perfect pushes. And Oho used his elbows, he used his hands, he used his shoulders. It was just like getting flattened by your neck and chest. Yeah,
This
it
is
was
the
incredible.
first match I watched and I kind of understood because I understand Wakamoto Haru's strength, but I also saw his strength up against a wall. Like Oho did not budge backwards. He did not give but maybe an inch with each one of those Wakamoto Haru shoves. And then he slowly moved his feet, just inching, and he was strong. And I was like, the power of his grandfather, the great Yokozuna. That was like, it's showing up. It's crazy. He just doesn't look that strong, but he is a block to get through.
Gotta mention Hoshoryu versus Wakataka Kage. So much drama up front between these two, eyeing each other down.
I didn't see that.
Really fun.
I watched the short version, so I missed this. I gotta go back and watch. I just gotta go back and watch day 3.
Yeah, like there are just some days where you gotta watch the long version because it's most like being there in person too. So you get all of the
pre-bout ritual.
Pre-bout stuff. It's fabulous. It's really, and you get Takakeisho too on day 3. But essentially, this match, Hoshoryu versus Wakataka Kage, came down to the Tachi. The two of them met with a really strong Tachi, but then Hoshoryu was much faster than Wakataka Kage and started with the pushes before Wakataka Kage could recover and get into the game. And so they had the initial matchup, and then Hoshoryu was just like bang, 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 and Wakataka Kage was out. Hoshoryu's timing was just so much faster and more aggressive. There was nothing he could do.
Right.
So it was over really quickly. And again, this is day 3. Hoshoryu looking every bit like if he keeps this up, could step into a Yokozuna. You know, he looks more and more like his uncle. He looks more and more like Asashoryu, more and more aggressive. And his footwork is great, and he's strong and fast. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Okay, but I do have to mention Kotozakura versus Tobizaru. It was a longer match, you know, in which Kotozakura had Tobizaru's arm all wrapped up, was trying to do something with it. But he lost the arm and started to push, and Tobizaru grabbed Kotozakura's left hand right at the edge and pulled down and out so hard and so fast, and Kotozakura just went flying. And the best part of it really was Kotozakura was not happy with himself. And he doesn't show that much emotion.
I know.
So
it broke my heart.
It was kind of great to just see him just be like, oh my God, buddy, what the hell is wrong with you? Is honestly what it felt like.
Yeah, I felt bad for him because he's just had so much pressure, and he's also had this crazy ride from the last tournament. It'll be a learning experience for him, but yeah, you hate to see that defeat, and that one hurt.
And it's certainly, you know, it's not over for him. It's only his second loss, but it's the dream of going for his Yokozuna status. That's what you kind of see dry up in his head. Like, oh, okay. I expect him to put his cards back together and he will be fine.
Yeah. He's young. He can do it. He can do it.
Yeah. 2 more to mention. Takanosho versus Onosato. We needed a Mono-e and a slow-mo replay to be sure, but Takanosho did step just outside the ring as he leaned back right at the edge, and Onosato flew out of the ring in a flurry of arms and legs, like, "Wah!" But Onosato did walk away with that win, kind of just barely, but that's all right. Onosato got it.
And
And
that was about that new Tatagyoji was credited as his like very first bout.
and
It
a
couldn't
really
be
good call.
his very first, yeah, really good call that he got right. There was a Mono-e, and then it was noted in the news that his very first Mono-e, he was accurate. He saw that, and that was
Well, that's good.
amazing because we couldn't see that.
Well, I missed it.
Hardly. I missed it too until I saw the
all I was
slow-mo like
watching-
4 times.
Yeah, I was just watching the yard sale of Onosato's arms and legs flying out. Completely missed Takanosho's little foot go dook right outside the ring. It was a great, great call.
It was.
Last bout, Terunofuji versus Kirishima. Long story short, it took a long time. It was lots of power for power. It was an Ozumo match. They locked up. Kirishima went in for Terunofuji's belt, and Terunofuji just locked up his arms. So
Right.
Kirishima actually looked to have the advantage, but then he couldn't do anything with it because Terunofuji was like squeezing and blocking and trying to get inside to get a hold on Kirishima's belt in the front, and he just couldn't do it. And it was a long time with Kirishima trying things and Terunofuji blocking, and it didn't go anywhere until Terunofuji he moved one hand, reached over the back of Kirishima, got a belt, and now he could throw like an Uwatanage or something. He just kind of muscled Kiribayama out of the ring eventually with a different belt grip. But it was one of those moments where it's like, God, that man, he may be only working on like 40% battery, but look at what he can still do.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So Terunofuji still in there. He's got his one loss, but fighting strong. Yokozuna pride. Woohoo.
Day 3 really was the star day for me. I mean, there were some surprises, but it'll be next week when we find out what storylines are really coming to the forefront. And it's been a fun few days, and always nice to be back.
Yep. Always, always, always. We're only on day 3. So, gosh, see you in a week with lots more sumo to discuss.
Oh, and if you are inspired, you can always write a sumo chicken episode for us, right? And maybe it'll be inspired by this very tournament, because we need somebody to write an episode of Sumo Chicken that's got some good conflict and some good sumo references in it. And so if you're inspired, go ahead and send us a fun little script and we just might record it.
All right. Yep.
All right.
That's it.
Until
See y'all
next week,
later.
I'm Leslie.
I'm Laurie. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.